Eddie, the day is almost here. Champions League football back at St James's Park. Now it's almost here. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Excited by the game and everything that the game will bring. I think the atmosphere here has been incredible. In my time at the football club, the home support has just been magnificent. But I think this will just be another layer, so another notch up. So looking forward to experiencing that.
It's such a big deal to the fans in this city, isn't it? Can you put into words why it's so important to them to see Champions League football back here?
Well, I just think this is a football city. It's a city that is Newcastle through and through. They live and breathe, I think, every kick of the ball, every result, it sort of reverberates around the local area. So I think when a football club's that immersed, or a city supports its football club that much, I think it's only willing it for good things, and the Champions League is the ultimate in club football. So I think rightly the club is back on that stage.
Would you say it's the biggest fixture that St James's Park has seen in 20 years?
I wouldn't want to disrespect any other fixtures. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Certainly since I've been here, I think it's probably the biggest fixture. I just think naturally some of the players that will be on show will be a great spectacle. Of course, from my viewpoint, I just have to tactically prepare the game and try and give ourselves the best chance of winning it. Hopefully we can do that in our preparation.
It's not a bad group as well. Firstly, you've got PSG coming to visit, but not a bad other couple of teams to come here as well. What was your initial thoughts when that draw was made?
I suppose mixed feelings really, because the draw comes very quickly and you've got to try and process it. So I think there was, of course, excitement at some of the games. The only thought really in my head was, can we qualify? And instantly, I think when you saw the group, you think the challenges got harder. But then I think when it settles down, I think we've just tried to approach it head on and attack it as we've tried to do everything since we've come to the club. And I think we can only be ourselves. We try and be the best form of ourselves, I think is the challenge. And I think if we can do that, then we'll take whatever comes.
And it's your first taste of European football as a manager. Is it different?
So the one game we had was, I thought it was a brilliant spectacle again. I think the Milan Stadium, the San Siro, was beautiful. I thought the atmosphere was quite hostile. I think Milan supporters did very well for their team. And I think that's why I'm really looking forward to experiencing it the other way, where we have the full power of that crowd. I thought the team did really, really well to get a really valuable point in that game, a battling performance. Hopefully we can see a mixture of the battling but also the beautiful in our performance tomorrow.
And when you came to Newcastle, the club was struggling. Are you even surprised in yourself at how quickly they've got to the Champions League? Yeah,
definitely, because I don't think it was something that we consciously really thought of last season, especially not at the start of the season. It was very much a case of, can we build on the season before, where we were in a relegation battle but finished the season really strongly? Can we become more difficult to beat? Can we get consistent results? And at the start of last season, we sort of did all of those things and managed to keep that momentum through to the end of the season. So it was a really memorable season for us. We rightly qualified for this competition, and now we have to not just sort of enjoy the experience of being here. We want to compete and we want to try and get through the group stages. That's now firmly in our sights.
Kieran Trippier has just told us that you as the manager have been key to why that progress has happened so quickly. From a manager's point of view, what do you pinpoint as the reason for it? Myself.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say myself. I never think there's one thing that sort of dictates success. I think it's a real mixture of things that you need. So from my perspective, sat here as a manager, I need good players. If you don't have good players, you're not going to win football matches. So I think we've recruited really well. I think the players we inherited have really bonded with the recruited players superbly. So I think we've got an incredible team spirit and continuity, and everyone within the squad's highly motivated to do well. Been really well supported by a fantastic board. And I think there's real stability at the football club, and I think once you have that off the pitch, certainly can help you on it. So can't forget the supporters as well, who have backed us from the relegation battle to now. They've backed us from beginning to end, and they're absolutely important too.
And in terms of the Champions League competition, how important is it to have experienced players like Kieran Trippier, not just in the dressing room, but out on the pitch as well, that have played in it before?
I think it is important. No, I don't think it's absolutely vital, because I think if you have good players, they'll soon pick up the experience they need. But I think you can see in the Milan game we had 3 or 4 really experienced players who had been in that environment before, and I think they led the other guys really, really well. I think Kieran's been invaluable for us since he's come in with his experience of different moments where he's helped the younger guys, he's helped the squad settle down in certain moments. So yeah, we do have that mixture of players who've had Champions League experience, and hopefully that does help us as we go further into the competition.
Well, let's talk about the challenge of PSG. No Neymar, no Messi anymore, but they've got a few others, a certain Kylian Mbappé. Is stopping him arguably one of the biggest challenges in world football?
I think it currently is, yeah. I struggle to think of many better players in the world than him at the moment. I think he's got that mix of technical ability, superb athleticism and speed, goal scoring ability as well. So I think, yeah, of course we have to stop him. But we have to also stop the supply to him, and we have to try and stop other good players. So I don't think we can just purely focus on one player, albeit we know how good he is. But I think we've done that really well the last period of time, where we haven't really focused too much on the opposition. Of course, they're important in the game, and we have to go up against them, but we've got to be ourselves, and we have to execute a really good game plan of what we want to do. So it's always a balance, and hopefully we can get that balance right.
What do you see as a good result against PSG?
Well, the only thing in my thoughts now is we want to win. No part of us ever goes into any game wanting to draw before the game started. So we'll do everything we can to try and win the game. And then if you can't win the game, the next best thing is to draw and not lose. So that's what we'll try to do.
Will you sleep well tonight?
I don't want to curse myself, but touch wood, I always sleep well. And I think it's so important for me to do that, because I can't go into a game tired. So I'm sure there'll be a different feeling, because you know what's ahead. But yeah, as long as I've done my work well today, I'll sleep well tonight.